Hello in there. Alright, y'all, today we are gonna make keys for a thermostat lock box cover. And whenever you are faced with this type of little small cam lock, very common on thousands of items, not just thermostat lock box covers, but any other number of things, you immediately go and grab your Y11 key blank. That is your first key to try to see if it works. Now I already know this one works in this, but I will point out, if your Y11 doesn't work, then you would go to Y12, Y13, Y14, and finally B1. Now odds are 90% of the time it is going to be one of these 5 keys. 90% of that time it's actually going to be the Y11, which is the case here. And I just did one of these the other day and I actually remembered the bitting on it, so I tried that and it was not the same, unfortunately. But you take your Y11, insert it, make sure it goes all the way in up to the shoulder. Some of these real short locks actually use 4 wafers, and when you go and you put this in, it'll be sticking out a little bit. That means you need to use the 1502, is it? Whoa, ES8. One of them is a 4 wafer, but you can also just grind this down. So this one, they obviously just yanked it off the wall. Normally you would turn the key and it flips this little latch open. So instead of impressioning this, because when you rock something in this plastic, you have a good chance that it will crack the plastic if you're not careful. So we're just going to sight read this, and to do that you have to turn the core to the halfway position between locked and unlocked. So I'm going to get in here and get it to that position. And we're going to look at the wafers because I do not want to impression it. You cannot take these apart because they are peened right there on the back. I know y'all love it when I say peened, but really they are just sealed. You really shouldn't try to get that peen and rehammer. If you had to, you could, but it's not something you want to do. So basically I'm going to sight read this. I'm going to switch the camera real quick, and we are going to zoom in really far. So all wafer locks are 4 or 5 wafer and 1 through 4 depths, with 1 depth being the height of the blade, and then 2 is a little bit deeper, 3 is a little bit deeper, and then 4 or 5, even some of them have 5 depths. But we're going to go in here basically and you're going to look at how far this projects down into the keyway, and we see that it projects down. This is the very first wafer, and we can see that it projects down a good bit. If this was a shallow wafer, it would only be projecting down to about there. So we know that first wafer is a pretty deep wafer. Sorry about it going in and out. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit further. You can angle it. It's a lot harder to do when that first wafer is long and it basically is blocking your view of the other wafers. Let's see if we can get the right light on this to see those back wafers, which it's not working out real well, so it's not going to be a real easy way for me to do that. But to me, from looking through my phone anyway, there we go. Maybe if we go in from the back. Yeah, there we go. Looks like number 1 wafer and number 2 wafer are actually about the same height. So we know that 1 and 2 there are going to be probably 3 or 4 depth. Sorry about this. This is a new way to see into the lock. Let's try that. Alright, that second wafer, it looks like actually, see, it's up behind it. So if you angle and then angle and then angle, sorry about that, if you angle, then it blocks it. So I'm guessing here, we're gonna say 4, 3, 1, and then there's that back wafer, which sticks down. So say 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and I can't really tell because of the glare of the light what that last wafer does back there. It may actually be 1 or 2, or not even there. So it's either 4, 4, 1, 4 or 4, 4, 1, 4, 2. Either way, we're going to use our cutter. Even though I'm in the shop, I'm going to use this because a lot of you guys you may have to use that. And if this was in the field, this is exactly how I did this the other day when I was on site at a job, when I was rekeying a business, and they were like, oh, the keys that I lost does not had my thermostat cover key on it. We only had one. So basically you can get the space and depths off of, you know, this is the X32 card. So basically, and it doesn't have to be real exact, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. So what did we say? 4, 4. So we're gonna knock that down to right about there, which is about 4, 4, and then we'll just say 1, 4, and then we're going to leave that 1 or 2. So we're going to knock out all that area real quick with our handy dandy Lishi. Alright, so those scribe lines, like I talked about when I got this, that's to tell your depth, but really this is mostly for automotive. So like there, is where it sits for Y11. So 1, 2. Now, and I'm going to cut shallow, so I'm just going to kind of nibble so that I don't break my cutter. So, let's see, 4, kind of bend it right there, if you'll see that. Let's try flipping it around, seeing if it doesn't bend. One thing I've noticed about this is it's very particular about being on one side or the other. Oh, that was too deep. Alright, I'm going to knock this down. I'm going to hope it still works. And then let's knock this tip down too. Get back in camera frame. So I'd say fairly acceptable. This one is way deeper than that one, so let's go through and knock this down just a bit more. Not too even. I need to do that third number. What is that? Number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably going to be way too deep. Let's just check it. Now that I've cut it that deep, it is what it is. So it's not working. I'm going to back it out. Let's see what marks we have left, and looks like that tip is marking. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this tip down. That's that one wafer I couldn't see. So before we give up on this blank, we're gonna notch that down just a bit. Give it a try. There it goes. It's still a little sticky-ish. So let's take a look and see what that may be. Hold on. Okay, let's see where that wafer is pressing in. It's still on the tip. I'm gonna clean this cut up just a bit, smooth that off, and I think, yeah, it's pressing in right there. You see that little mark? Where are we? Right there. That is that wafer pressing in. So let's clean that up just a bit. Cut here. There we go. Could touch it up with a file too. Alright, that's all she wrote. And we can go ahead and knock it out. Alright, brushing it. Wait, where are we? Where are we?
We are not here.
Shh, you were just supposed to be holding the camera, not talking.
If I'm going to hold it, I'm going to talk. Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
How many keys did he need for this thermostat?
2.
Oh, wait.
I was going to say,
yeah. That's how the hardware store cuts keys.
Actually,
Yeah, I know. And thermostat done. We're done. How's this thing go together? I know that goes in there. There we go.
Just like that.
Okay, all done. So, thanks for watching, guys. If y'all have any questions or comments, as always, leave them in the comments section, because that's where comments go, right?
That's where they go.
I mean, I say that all the time now, but it's kind of a given if you're going to make a comment or have a question to
Leave
put it in the comments
section.
All right, thanks, guys.